All right, welcome back. Today, we are diving into something really fascinating from our source material. It's this unique system for guiding young people towards maturity, and it's called the coming of flame.
And it all kicks off with this universal question, right? One that parents, mentors, pretty much everyone has wrestled with for centuries. How do you guide a young person to become a mature adult without just controlling their every move? It's such a tricky thing to get right.
And this source material we're looking at, it offers a pretty unique answer. It's this 30-day rite of passage, but the whole thing is built on a principle that might feel, well, kind of backwards. It's all about observation, not instruction. So, okay, what is the coming of flame exactly? Well, think of it like this. It's a structured 30-day process where a teenager is given daily tasks to complete. But here's the twist. A mentor, could be a parent or an elder, just silently watches them. The whole point isn't to jump in and correct them. It's to measure their readiness for what's next, based on what they actually do. The entire framework for this whole thing is built around what's called the love diamond. It's pretty cool. You've got four corners: responsibility, care, respect, and desire. And what holds it all together right there in the middle? Trust. This little geometry is what guides both the teen and the mentor through the entire journey. Okay, so the system is basically built on two parallel paths, running at the same time. Let's start with the first one, the teen's 30-day journey. This is all about active work and, you guessed it, a lot of reflection. So these 30 days are broken down into 4 weeks, and each one has a very specific theme. Week 1 is all about grounding, building that self-awareness, just being present. Then, week 2, they dive into practicing the four corners of that love diamond we just talked about. Week 3 gets into interaction, so navigating relationships, learning self-control. And then finally, week 4 is all about readiness. It's where they pull all those lessons together and get ready for the end. So what's a typical day look like for the teen? Well, every single day combines a really specific task with a prompt for them to reflect on in their workbook. Let's take day 8, for example. The task sounds simple, but it's actually huge. Complete one duty without being asked. I mean, that's all about taking initiative, right? A huge piece of responsibility. All right, now let's flip to the other side of this coin. This is where the whole process gets, well, pretty radical. We're talking about the mentor's role of silent support. It's all about the power of observation over correction. The mentor's guide has this one core rule, and honestly, it's a total game changer. The source material says it perfectly. Silence and consistency matter more than instruction. Just think about that for a second. Our first instinct is usually to teach, to correct, to guide with our words. This system asks the mentor to do the complete opposite. Okay, let's look at how this actually works. On day 3, the teen's task is about body care, cleaning their space, themselves. Now, if they just don't do it, the mentor doesn't nag them. They don't say a single word. Instead, their instruction is to quietly clean your own space visibly. See what's happening? They're modeling the behavior. They're teaching by showing, not by telling. Or let's go back to that day 8 task. Complete one duty without being asked. What if the teen just forgets or skips it? The mentor's guide is super clear. Assign no makeup. And why? Because, and I love this line, you have to let absence teach. The consequence isn't some punishment you hand out, it's the natural result of the action, or in this case, the inaction. So this obviously leads to a pretty big question, right? I mean, if the mentor never steps in to correct or even praise them, how on earth do you measure growth? How do you actually know if the teen is ready to move on? And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, measuring readiness, not perfection. This is the moment where all that silent observation finally turns into a concrete assessment. The whole assessment is built on this one simple, powerful idea straight from the source. Readiness is demonstrated, not declared. It doesn't matter what the teen says they've learned. The only thing that counts is what the mentor has seen them do consistently over those 30 days. So how do they do it? The mentor uses a rubric that's based on those 5 domains of the love diamond. Each one gets a score from 0 to 4. And just look at the difference here. For responsibility, a score of 0 means the teen avoids duties. But a 4? That means they anticipate needs. It's not just about doing what you're told. It's about a complete shift in mindset and action. Okay, so they add up the scores from all 5 of those domains, and you need a total score somewhere between 16 and 20 points to be considered ready for the final part of the rite. It's a really clear, quantifiable goal that's based entirely on all that qualitative observation.
That final score then leads to one of three possible outcomes. If you get 16 to 20 points, you're ready. If you score between 12 and 15, the rite is delayed. The mentorship just continues for a bit longer. And if the score is below 12, they repeat certain weeks of the program. Not the whole thing, just the parts that need more work. And the source material is so clear about the guiding principle here. No shame, only readiness. See, this process isn't about passing or failing. It's just a tool to figure out if someone is ready for the next stage of their life. And if they're not, the support just continues with absolutely no judgment. So, for those who are deemed ready, this whole 30-day process wraps up with one final powerful moment, the final flame. This is what seals the entire journey. On that final day, day 30, the teen speaks a very simple vow out loud. And just listen to how perfectly it ties back to the love diamond. I tend my corner. That's your responsibility, your care, your respect, your desire. I respect others' corners. And finally, I guard the center. And what's in the center? Trust. And then, as the teen stands there in silence, the elders speak the final words that seal the rite. It's a line that just perfectly sums up the entire philosophy of this incredible system. The flame does not rush. The flame arrives when ready. What a powerful reminder, right? That real, true growth, it can't be forced. It can only be nurtured and then recognized when it's finally ready to appear.